By definition, an antenna is a metal whip designed to receive and transmit radio signals within a given area.
It's BS in the Morning on KSLQ and Westplex 107.1.
There's the guy who sounds like he's always in pain. That's, what's his name? Well, I don't know. He's in pain. I can't what's your name again? Louis Capaldi. I'm kidding. Good morning to you. It is, what's the time? It is 6:16. I can't read my big clock because of the fact that I turn it face down because of the fact that I'm too lazy to reload it. It's a computer clock, and I had to put it onto a computer, hook it up to a USB port, and switch to daylight savings time. So I just use it half the year, and then the other half of the year when it's daylight savings time, I just turn it down. It's this big clock. It's got these great big, like, 3-inch letters on it, 3-inch numbers on it. You know, and for those of us who have some vision issues, 3-inch letters at 2 feet, I can almost read it. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I have no idea what happened to Shelley. She calls me this morning and... Hold it. Speaking of the devil, it's Shelley Barr.
The devil wears Prada.
You know what? I was just about ready. I was going to bring in my new co-host.
Your what, hon?
I was going to bring in my new co-host.
Who's that?
Oh, my God. She's just an incredible woman. I mean, she has a gift for the English language like nobody else.
Okay.
I was just about ready to bring her in, but, you saved. Aren't you curious as to who it is?
Who is it?
You're curious? I've got
sure.
I've got your curiosity up.
Yep.
Okay, this is how good she is. We call her a wordsmith because, boy, she can use some words. You ready for this?
Uh-huh.
Here she is.
During Women's History Month, we celebrate and we honor the women who made history throughout history.
That's why we have her.
Oh, honey.
Here she goes again.
Does she know what she sounds like?
This is her yesterday, okay? And quite honestly, I edited this because... You can drive. She's like Janet Yellen. You know who Janet Yellen? She's on TV and radio all the time. She's the fat.
I don't know who
she
that
talks
is.
like this. I'm Janet Yellen, and all you poor schlubs out there who don't have any money, I'm the lady who keeps raising your interest rate, and I don't really care because I'm rich, and you people can just eat dirt as far as I'm concerned. I'm Janet Yellen. She talks like that.
Have you met her?
Oh, have I met her? I used to date her.
You did not.
Back in high school. Her and I went to high school together.
You did not.
I did. Swear.
No.
I'm telling you. Back in the day. Matter of fact, she said to me, Brad, I love your 62 Pontiac station wagon. It's such a cool car. I have other guys who are much better looking than you and much more... forward thinking, and quite honestly, I think they'll make lots of money in their career, more than you will, because I know, Brad, you want to go into the radio business, but I go out with you because you pick me up in your 62 Pontiac station wagon. That does it for me. I'm thinking, Janet, oh my, you're my girl. You're my girl. Mm-hmm. And I used to drive. We'd go to parties together, and people would go like.
You'd make her sit in the all the way back in the back like a limousine.
Yeah, I had a third
with
seat.
the seat that folds up.
No, I had
and the other seat that folds up, and they face each other.
No. In my station wagon, I had a rear. I had a rear seat that sat backwards. Some of those station wagons had the rear seat was that. That was and she'd say, and she'd go, she said to me, I love to be in your back seat way there in the back because I like to see where I've been. I don't really care about where I'm going. I just care about where I've been. And I'm telling you, I used to pick her up. We used to go to parties.
She's profound and sounds haggy.
we used to go to parties, and I'm telling you, people would Brad, they'd say, people, they'd go, Brad, you're here. Oh, Janet, you brought Janet, life of the party. That's right. Hey, I'm here to partay. Let's go. They were like all excited. People were like so excited. But
it was only a party for two.
No, Kamala's too young for me. Otherwise, I mean, she's way
How
too
old
young.
is she?
I don't know. She's like 52 or something like that.
She's not in her 40s.
She's like in her 50s. Okay, here we go again. I think this was yesterday because I believe this is Women's Month. Last month was Black History Month. I think this is Women's Month. That's why they have that's why they when the U.S. government where I think it was it her? No, it was Dr. Biden gave out the awards for Women of International Woman of the Year, and the International Woman of the Year was a transsexual dude from South America. I'm going
no way.
Oh, I'm not. You think I'm making this up? I'm not.
Yes, I do.
Okay, you want me to find you the article? I'll send you that one because everybody was going like, no, hold on a minute. The Woman of the Year, the International Woman of the Year, is a transsexual dude/dudette from South America. I mean, but here's what bothers me about that. As a woman, don't you feel that some of your rights are being taken away by these men who like claim that they're women, but they haven't had the surgery? You know what I'm saying? I mean, like we talked about this all the time. You get mad at me when I bring up Little Black Book. Okay, Little Black Book is exclusively a women's organization, correct?
Yes, Brad.
Okay, now
except for the wingmen.
But they're not in the organization. They're like
they really kind of are.
They're an auxiliary. They don't go to meetings. They don't show up.
No.
They don't go to. The only time they're around is when there's booze. You know, right? Come on, be honest. That's the only time the men are around. You know, like the Burbash, there's booze, right? Oh, got to bring the men. Got to drink. Okay, so I keep telling Shelley, I think that's wrong. Why is it that you can have in this day and age where we can't have, you know, exclusively black or exclusively white country clubs, exclusively white social organizations, exclusively white schools? Why is it okay to still have exclusively women organizations? I think that's wrong. And you know what? Those women in LBB, they are missing the impact of a man in their group, are men. They're missing that in their group. And you know what? You know who's the expert on that? You know who knows all there is to know about that?
Who?
Shelley, where are you today?
Here we go.
During Women's History Month, we celebrate and we honor the women who made history throughout history.
Somebody's got to be writing these speeches for
I
her.
was just thinking that same thing the first time you played that.
I mean,
don't these people have a handler?
But let me tell you something.
Everybody needs a handler.
Okay, let me tell you something.
Especially
from a
scrotum and a podum or whatever it is.
What was that? Scrotum in the podum?
No.
There's another
I said
one.
scrotum.
Scrotum in the podum. Okay.
What?
No, never mind.
That is not what I said.
We said scrotum in the podum.
I did not.
Okay. Now hold on.
Which you will never, ever
No. Here is
play
why.
on the radio.
Here's why this woman is brilliant. Okay. Listen to this one more time.
During Women's History Month, we celebrate and we honor the women who made history throughout history.
Okay. You know why she's brilliant?
Why?
Because of the fact, from a marketing angle, it's the power of three. See, there's something about when you do something three times. Three times is like the magic number.
Charm.
Well, no, they talk about this, you know, not third time's a charm, but they talk about this all the time that, like, for example, in a 30-second commercial, you need to mention the client's name at least three times. 60-second commercial, 5 to 6. And see, you know, you and I have talked about this all the time. We talk about pronouns. We take pronouns out of commercials because we'll have a client who'll write a commercial and say, hey, what do you think of this? And I will take all the pronouns because they're like, XYZ Tire Company, they're the best. And why should you go there? Because they have great prices. Take all those pronouns out, and it should be XYZ Tire Company is the best tire company. XYZ Tire Company has the best service. XYZ Tire Company has the best prices. XYZ Tire Company is where you should be taking your car. How many times do we talk about this where I play these national commercials, especially TV. TV's the worst because you see these images and you see this and there's a man and a woman walking down the street hand in hand and they're in a forest and it looks beautiful, and at the very end of the commercial the guy says, "Hey, hand in hand, That's why you should be at XYZ Bank. They say it one time, and it doesn't sink in because most people, once again, most people's attention
Have already
span.
turned the channel.
Right. Most
Or
people
got up and went and got their coffee or their spritzer.
Or if you still have a DVR that are, you still have like, what is the thing?
Do not knock people who still have DVRs.
Well, I'm not saying anything bad about you, Shelley, in particular.
And don't knock people who still have VCRs.
What's the thing that everybody bought? What's the TiVo thing where you could TiVo? Don't you know what TiVo is?
TEVO.
You don't know what TiVo?
We are TiVo.
You don't know what TiVo is?
TEVO.
No, you don't know what TiVo is?
That's a famous song.
No, that's Devo.
I knew that, actually. I was just
No, you
messing
didn't.
with you.
No, you didn't.
During Women's
Yes, I
History Month,
did.
we celebrate and we honor the women who made history throughout history.
Hold on. People are dinging me, so it must be I'm in trouble with somebody. Somebody's not happy with what I'm saying because I've got more.
Here's a shocker.
My phone number, by the way, is 314-280-8880, and I do answer my phone. It's Mike Otten said, someone should have told Kamala don't do drugs. I don't think that's the case with her.
Is that what you really think, Mike?
Well, I don't.
I just think the woman needs to go to Toastmasters.
Well, you know what? You got a good point there because she's not. Have you ever been to? I've gone to Toastmasters before. You ever been to
I have
Toastmasters?
before as well.
It was fascinating. I mean, because what's interesting is some of these people, you go like, once again, I talk for a living, quote unquote. That's why I'm broke, because I'm not a very good talker. But I go to some of these. I've been to several. Matter of fact, I went to a semi-final kind of Toastmasters. I've got some of the people I knew who were in BNI were in Toastmasters, and I got invited to a couple Toastmasters events. And I was fascinated by it because the backstory on some of these people, they would say like, well, Susie's been in Toastmasters for a year now, and when she first got here, she could barely stand up in front of people and say 10 words. And a year later, Susie, or Billy, or Bob, or Juanita was up there in front of the group just knocking it dead. I mean, giving these presentations and speeches and I'm going like, whoa, this is impressive as all get out. And some of these people were just incredible orators. Now,
And LBB has their own Toastmasters chapter.
Oh, I'm going to join.
You can't.
Why not?
It's for women.
What? It's for women? You what now you say? Say that again?
No, I don't think I need to. You heard what I said.
No, say it again. One more time.
Nope, I'm not going to do it.
Here, I'll wind it back. Here's Shelley. Brad, Little Black Book has his own Toastmasters, and it's only for women. What?
Well, because you have to be a member, and
well, I want to join.
You won't be a member.
Why not? Hey.
You just need to start your own men's club.
800 dude. Hey,
so
you want to be an 800 dude? Yeah, you too can be an 800 dude.
So is it 314-636?
636.
Oh, no, it's 800.
No, it's...
No, but what's the prefix?
636.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, 636-800 dude. Call today. Lines are open. 636-800 dude. That's my new. Hey, you guys, tired of being pushed around by those LBB women? Join 800 dude. Yeah, it's a place where we get together, we scratch and we spit. Yeah, 800 dude. You think I'm kidding about this?
Yeah, I do.
I'm gonna take the next break off. I'm gonna play music. I'm gonna go back in the studio, in the production studio, and knock out a commercial and start playing it on the air. Call right now, 636-800 dude. I don't think the numbers. I haven't done anything with the number yet. Hold on a minute. And it is an honest to goodness real number. Hold on a minute. Let me do this. Let me dial this real quick. See if it.
Now, if you don't have that number, and whoever does, and they're getting all these calls at before 7,
It's
what is that? 6:31.
It's 636-800-3833, which is a pretty decent number to begin with. Okay,
It is.
Yeah, let's call and see what happens here. Hold on. It should be turned on already. I don't know if I have everything on it yet or not. Hold on a minute.
This number is parked at Number Barn.
Yeah, that's me. That's 636-800 dude. I need to, hey guys. And see, later in the show, I will tell you about another story, which once again, it talks about me and being a BIPOC. I am a BIPOC. I'm a black indigenous people of color. That's me.
What?
I'm a BIPOC.
How do you figure?
Because I am Mocha Java. I'm not white. I'm Mocha Java. I'm not
It
white.
doesn't make you a BIPOC.
People of color. Guess what? Mocha Java is a color. Matter of fact, as far as the page's concerned, it's 2004-7B. How much more of a color can you be than Mocha Java? And by the way, we could talk about this crazy thing. I have teacher friends, believe it or not, at least quote unquote.
There's a shocker.
Yes, friends, teacher friends that actually talk to me. Matter of fact, my niece, Christy, and her younger sister, Nicole, are both teachers. And, oh my God, this thing that happened in Denver yesterday, or now it's to the point where it was the day, this kid who went and shot. This is such a bizarre story. And here we go again. The pendulum swings back and forth. The pendulum swings. I talk about this all the time. The pendulum swings this way, and then people go, we don't like the way this is. So they swing the pendulum way over to the other side, and then the law of unintended consequences kicks in, and bad things happen. This is what's happened in Denver at this high school. And now they think they found the kid, and they think he killed himself. But that's a whole other story. Okay, you know what I'm talking about?
I know. I only listened to it briefly, and then I grieved.
Well, for the principals, he shot 2 principals.
Yes.
And how
I know one of them was in critical condition in the hospital.
Yeah, not good, and then ran away. Now, there's a backstory to this, which is sort of interesting, which is sort of sad too, because of the fact that the whole thing, there's going to be a day when people are going to say, like, how we said, okay, everybody overreacted to the COVID-19 thing. We shouldn't have shut down.
That's not true.
Whoa. You think you don't think we overreacted to the COVID-19 thing by closing down schools and closing down businesses?
No, I do not.
Shelley.
I've had friends who have died from COVID.
Shelley, I have 3 words.
What are they? I dare you to say them.
What are they?
Mm-hmm.
They're dead.
What?
What are they? You said the 3 people that died. You have people that died from COVID, and you asked me what are they, and I say they're
no. That's not what I asked you.
They're dead. If they died from COVID, they're dead, right? My dad's dead. My mom's dead.
You said you had 3 words for me.
Yeah, I do have 3 words for you.
What are they?
Well, they're sort of mixed in here. Here, listen carefully.
During Women's History Month, we celebrate and we honor the women who made history throughout history.
So what 3 words were in there?
It's Shelley, you're so much fun. It's 6:34.
Falling in love in a hopeless place. That is something that we all do, isn't it? Hi, everyone. You are listening to BS.Show. I am Shelley. He is Brad. And together we make BS. Somebody asked me the other day, what exactly is BS.Show? And I had to tell her it was a show about nothing, because that's exactly what it is, a show about nothing. We don't have anything prepared. We're just 2 people sitting in a chair talking on the radio and growing people's businesses. We do that too. So Brad will be along in a second. He's like MacGyver. If there is anything that needs to be fixed, he can fix it. He's that dude. So let me give out his number, 314-280-8880. And if you need something fixed, give him a call. He's excellent. So, yeah, just keep that in your little pocket and just give him a call whenever you need some help. You need your weeds pulled, he can do that. You need your grass mowed, he can do that. You need something fixed that you thought had no life left in it, he can resurrect it. That's how good he is.
Wow, my check's in the mail. Thank you, Shelley. Okay, I think I have my problem fixed.
Hi, Brad.
Shelley, you're too good to me. And by the way, you say people ask you what BS.Show is about. I will disagree with one thing you say. I do prepare for the show. I do have things.
Oh, he does. I don't.
Yeah, Shelley doesn't. She's like a wind vane. Whichever way the wind's blowing, that's the way Shelley's pointed, right?
Pretty much.
And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a good way. You know, it's one of those things. Okay. Hold on a minute. I got to read some text somebody just sent me.
Probably saying, can you come over and fix my garage door?
There's an article of Forbes. Somebody sent me this. Who is this? Mike Otten sent me this. Kamala Harris's controversial cannabis history is making waves. Here where she stands now. I heard, you know what?
She smokes dope and now she's going to stand down.
I don't know. I'll read the article real quick. I'll give it a perusement. Is that a word?
Perusement. Skim.
Yeah.
Evelyn Wood.
Ellen Reading Rate 878. Yeah. Okay. 6262 I think was the phone number. Okay. Yesterday, what was I going to say? I just lost my train of thought. The train just went off the tracks, and now.
Did you just have a Shelley moment?
Now Joe Biden won't come because the train came off the tracks. He won't come where the train came off the tracks. That's a whole nother story. Okay.
I'm sure it's something.
No, no. I know
point
what it was.
On that he said.
I was listening to. You know what? I'm a button pusher, and I'm a scan button pusher. I hit the scan button and I listen almost every day, at least once a day. I'll scan every radio station that comes on, on my radio. I'll just listen to it. Sometimes, some of the ones.
That's just like when I call you and my name comes up on your phone. You scan it and swipe.
When you're the problem.
I don't know which way swipe. When you swipe left, swipe right. I don't know what that means exactly.
With you, I swipe down.
What does that mean?
Oh, I can't tell you. Okay. Hold on. Now,
you blocked them?
I forgot what I was going to talk about. I just remembered it. Oh, no. I remember what it was. Okay. Yesterday, I'm listening to another radio station, and they have this politician on, Missouri politician, and he's talking about the gambling bill, which they're trying to pass in Missouri. Last year, it made it through the House, and then it went nowhere in the Senate. And this year, it's pretty much gone through the House, and it's waiting to be sent to the Senate. Remember, we have this bicameral legislation system where, it has to, both on the state and the federal level. There's two houses of government, or at least in the, what do you call it? Three branches of government: executive, judicial, and what's the third one? Come on, this is Civics 101. What's the third branch?
I have no idea.
Anyway, the dude's on another radio station, and they're talking about, and the guy, Mark Reardon, is a big gambling fan, so he wants gambling in the state of Missouri. And what is the main reason that this legislator said they're trying to push this through this year, and they're hoping makes it through? What's the main reason? Because all the states around us have it. Remember when you were a kid, when your mom said, if you said, Mommy, can I have a pair of shoes just like Jimmy has? And your mom would say, well, if Jimmy jumped off a bridge, would you want to jump off a bridge? Remember that? Remember that line?
Yeah.
Okay. So why is it that just because the states around us have it, we have to have it? See, I've told this story before. I told it on the air, and I'm a lifelong Missouri resident, although I've lived all over the place, but I'm a lifelong Missouri resident, and I'm an old guy. If 50 years ago you would have said to me, hey, Brad, once upon a time, in your lifetime, there's going to be the lottery, and there's going to be casinos, and there's going to be legal cannabis. You'll be able to go to a building where the police don't mind that you go in and buy stuff, and you get out in your car and you smoke it, and then there's going to be legal gambling where you'll be able to gamble I'm going like, oh my God, you're just crazy. And the next thing you're going to tell me that people are just going to fly around in their little cars all over the place. That, you wake up in the morning and instead of getting a car that's got wheels on it, you wake up in the morning, you hit a button and wings pop out of your car, and you hit another button and propeller, pops out of the back of your car, and you drive out the driveway and you hover out of your driveway and you go to the work, or you go to school, or you go to the grocery store and you fly to the grocery store and you land in the parking lot. That's what you're telling me. Oh no, that'll happen too. Anyway, his whole deal was, well, we've got to have this because the states around us have it. And I don't know if you know this crazy deal. If you have like the FanDuel app or the what's the other one? I get the two. They're too big. They started out as the sports thing, not sports betting, but they started out as fantasy sports. So it started out as fantasy sports, then they morphed into full-blown gambling. FanDuel, what's the other one? One of them owns the Casino Queen. One of them owns Cahokia, although it's not called Cahokia anymore. The racetrack. You know what I'm talking about? What's the other one? FanDuel and I don't know, whatever it is. Okay. If you have their app, it doesn't work in Missouri. But
why?
Because it's geolocated, because it's illegal in Missouri to sports gamble. But you can jump in your car.
Then what is it on the radio for?
But because there's Illinois listeners. You can jump in your car.
Oh.
You can drive across the river into Illinois, and guess what? Your app works and you can gamble. So you can literally drive across the river. If you're up in North County, you can drive 270 and go over into Shoto Island. You can't make a U-turn there. You got to go all the way to Route 3 and you make a U-turn there. But you can drive over to Granite City on Route 3, or you can drive across the Poplar Street Bridge. You can go across 255 on the south side and go over to Illinois, and magically your app will work and you can bet, and then you can just back in your car and just drive back across the river and you can bet, and you can't bet. But yet, we got to have it in Missouri because the other states have it. And why do they do that? Why is that they have to have it in Missouri? You know why? Think about it. It starts with a $. Because of the fact...
Tax revenue.
Right. They don't... Illinois is making the tax revenue. For the people in Kansas City, it's Kansas has sports betting. I believe for the people up in North... I believe Iowa has sports betting. Iowa was one of the first first states in the country to have gambling on the river. Remember? I mean, I knew people, their moms and dads used to get on buses because the casinos used to sponsor buses for free. You could take a free day trip up to the Quad Cities where they had the various, gambling boats up there. You could take a bus trip for free. And that was, they'd stop at all the retirement homes. Hey, who wants to go to gamble up in Iowa? And everybody, oh, we do. And the place would, like the capacity in the bus would say capacity 66. There'd be 150 old people in that bus. They'd be sitting in each other's laps because they're going to gamble in Iowa. You think I'm kidding, don't you?
Yeah, because that's where I would want to go to gamble is Iowa.
You don't like Iowa because you got a ticket there.
I don't like Iowa.
What do you call it? Hee-haw, Iowa?
Yeah, hee-haw, hell, Iowa.
My daughter lives in Hooterville. That's close to Iowa.
I'm sure it's not like Iowa.
It's 650.
So you're listening to Westplex 1071. I am Shelley. He is Brad. And together we make BS.
I totally screwed up that break, so we'll just talk.
Okay.
It's my fault.
I'm like...
No, you did everything right. You did everything right.
Did?
You did.
Say it again.
I did. I screwed up. It's my fault. This whole morning is screwed up. I got to remind me, here, maybe make a note here, about, I heard this interesting story yesterday about the most prosperous zip code in the United States, and it's not what you think it is.
Is it in the U.S.?
I mean, yes.
Don't even bother to have me repeat that. Is it in?
Hold on a minute. Your friend has something to say about that. She wants to speak up and say something about what you just said. Okay.
Okay.
During Women's History Month, we celebrate and we honor the women who made history throughout history.
And if the more you listen to it, it actually does make sense.
Yes, but it's bring in an English teacher, poorly constructed sentence, okay? Let me read this real quick. Biden's VP pick, Kamala Harris, has a complicated history with cannabis, and it's stirring up all kinds of controversy as this is an old article. She re-enters the 2020 race as the Democratic vice presidential nominee. Why cannabis advocates made many of these criticisms against her during her own bid for president. This time it's Trump and his advisors, Giuliani and Conway, who are pointing out Harris's inconsistent record on cannabis issues. Still, despite a past record that seems unfavorable toward cannabis, many cannabis advocates are now championing Harrison for her current efforts to push forward cannabis legalization and expunge the records of those who were arrested for cannabis crimes in the past. You know, to a certain extent, this is the libertarian in me. And once again, I got into an argument with somebody the other day. You're a libertarian. You just want anarchy. I go, no, that's an anarchist. And
isn't that a song?
No, an anarchist wants no rules. An anarchist is like, what's that stupid movie was it called The Purge, where one day a year the police just don't do anything. You can go murder people, you can go rob banks. Isn't that The Purge? Isn't that what that is?
I don't know. I know I've never seen that movie, but I've known the gist of it.
Somebody if out there, tell me if I'm correct. 314-280-8880. You can text me. I think it's called The Purge. And the idea behind the movie is one day a year they declare this purge day and everything's legal. Everything's legal. If you have a neighbor that you don't like and he's been causing you problems, you just go out and shoot him and kill him. That's okay. Only on that day. If you did it the day before, the day after, you'd be thrown in jail for murder. But on the purge day, you can do anything you want. Okay? That's not me. I'm not that anarchist guy. I'm a libertarian in that I believe we do need a government because there are certain people that can't color within the lines. But the lines should not be walls that are 30 feet tall. The lines should be like, okay, don't do that. And the idea being, for example, people say, well, you probably believe that people could drive on either side of the street. No. You need that kind of a rule. You need everybody on the right side of the street. You drive on the right side. That way you don't have head-on collisions, okay?
Because if you don't have rules, then you end up like the card insertion at the convenience stores and every other place that has card insertions.
What? What are you talking about?
What were you talking about?
Card insertions?
Card.
C-A-R-D?
Yes. Credit cards, debit cards.
Oh, so you're saying each one's different. That's what you're saying.
Everybody's is different.
Yeah,
you
right.
Go to Walgreens, it's yellow.
The ones
you go to QT, it's
right. You're right.
green.
You're right. You're right.
And there were no rules about it, and they just let it.
But if you go,
who does that?
If you go to certain gas stations, when you put your card in, they want your zip code, they want your blood type, they want how many kids you have, they want what the tire pressure in your right rear tire is. They want you want a car wash, you want a butt wash, you want a mouth wash. It's like, okay, can you ask me any more questions? I just want gas. Okay, so going back to my libertarian things.
Sorry,
Things have gotten out of control because there's all these goofy, stupid laws they want to put in. There's one. Like, for example, the smartest woman in the world sent me this. We could talk about this next hour. In California, are you ready for this? We'll talk about this in depth next hour. But in California, there's a legislator, I think she's a woman, who wants to outlaw Skittles.
Why?
She wants to outlaw Skittles.
Who? I just don't think I can be friends with this woman. Who is it?
I don't care. I'll find the story because
Skittles are like a food group to some.
She wants to outlaw Skittles.
Why?
Because there's something in them she says is going to kill us all. Now, once again, it's one of the...
Okay, is she the same person that lives over next to a radar?
Yes. You and I kid about this because I don't know if that's in Overland or if it's in St. Louis County because the boundary line's right there. It's off of, I think it's on Ashby. Okay. Shelley knows what I'm talking about because she used to work there. It's the FAA radar for the Lambert Airport. Okay. And it sits actually in a residential neighborhood. It sits right on Ashby. There's a house in front of it. There's a house behind it. There's a house next to it. Okay. And am I kidding, Shelley?
So it was clearly there.
Right. Well, maybe not. I don't know.
Probably claimed eminent domain.
By the way, there's a law that the Missouri legislators have passed yesterday that you can't put a trash dump within a mile of a house. And I'm thinking,
I think that's fair.
Well, no, hold on a minute. Where are they going to put them? Where are they going to put the trash dumps? Now, see, here's the problem. They put that law into effect. And then they go, you had to have a trash dump within a mile. So then next year when they put that law into effect and your trash bill goes up times 3, people go, why'd my trash bill go up 3 times? How come last year I paid $100 for trash and this year I paid $300? Because the trash guy's got to drive out into the boonies to dump the trash now. Because he used to be able to drive somewhere close, but now he's got to drive to Kingdom City to dump the trash, because that way, think about it. How many places are like within the St. Louis area? Even if you go like to Warren County, almost everywhere there's a house within a mile. I mean, almost everywhere. Unless you go to like Mark Twain Forest or something like that. That's right. We'll just dump the trash in Mark Twain Forest. Okay, we have to take a break. It's 7:00 and it's all your fault. There's sometimes I wish people would just tell me that they liked me, but instead, what happens to me?
I wasn't naked, but I have hit a person over the head with a frying pan.
And that was me. Shelley hit me over the head with a frying pan.
No, that would have been my ex-husband.
Your ex-husband?
Not you, Brad.
Oh,
I just want to throat punch you.
This is what Shelley said about her ex-husband.
I do remember a dude that looked like Abe Lincoln, and I'm pretty sure he had floaties on.
I'm sorry.
He doesn't resemble Abe Lincoln at all. He's barely taller than I am.
Your ex-husband is?
Uh-huh.
How tall was he?
5'8".
What?
Yeah.
Aren't you like 5'9" or something like that? How tall are you? 5'8"?
No, Brad.
How tall are you?
I was 5'7.5", but I've shrunk down to 5'7".
Oh, you lost a half inch.
I did.
That's not so bad for women. When a man loses a half inch, man, that's terrible.
I really can't believe you went there. Now, if you want to continue to go there, I can do that.
No. Okay.
So keep on talking, Sparky.
What are we going to talk about? I heard this last night, and I've heard this before, but it caught my attention. I thought to myself, this is a Shelley term. What do you call someone when someone is complaining about something? Oh, I can't believe this is not fair. This is not fair. What do you call them? You call for them. What do you call for them? You dial 911 and you call a wambulance.
A winebulance?
No, a wambulance, like wah. It's it's WAAAAMBULANC. A wambulance. Oh, well, boy, that's so sad. I'm gonna call you a wambulance. Your life is so tough. I'm gonna call you a wambulance. Wah. Okay.
Well, now there's a thing. I do believe that wallowing is important. I just know that you can't stay there. Okay. So Tiffany, when Tiffany was growing up, Tiffany's my babes. She's my only biological child,
as opposed to the ones
in April.
As the ones that you created in a lab in a test tube, right?
I'm sorry. They didn't do that back in the 80s.
You said your only biological child. I says, as opposed to the ones you created in a lab in a test tube.
No,
right?
I have bonus kids.
You have bonus kids.
One of them is in my same generation.
And they were created in a lab in a test tube, right?
I don't think so.
Or no, that would be biological. They're mechanical. They're like robots, right? I didn't say robot like I normally says. I corrected myself. They robots, right?
No, not really.
Okay, here's a positive story. You're gonna like this. We talk about.
I have to finish.
Oh, go ahead, finish. I thought you were done. Go ahead.
Really?
Go ahead.
So anyway.
Go ahead.
I would not let Tiffany wallow.
Yeah.
It's like the thing that happened.
Right.
Is based her wallowing allowance is based on the thing that happened. Like if it was huge, she could have probably a week to wallow. And then I don't want to hear about it.
Did you have like a chart?
No, I didn't need a chart.
If you said based upon like, okay, if she broke a fingernail, that was wallow for 2 hours. If she got punched at school, that was 2 days of wallowing.
Yes, that's exactly it.
But didn't you have a chart?
No.
So how did you assess the wallow time?
So the amount of times that she's talking about the same thing that really upset her.
But that was arbitrary for you. Would just say, well, Tiffany, you can't wallow about that for 2 days. That's mommy's rule. Is that what you said to her? That was a 2-day.
Yes.
So in other words, if she got caught smoking in the boys' room, I mean, nowadays
Tiffany wouldn't do that.
See, nowadays, think about that. Nowadays,
she's actually one of the good kids.
You wouldn't get,
unlike her mother.
See, nowadays you wouldn't get in trouble for smoke or for being in the boys' room. You'd just be in trouble for smoking. See, that's like this story's gotten more legs, and briefly we'll talk about this. This is Waterloo, Illinois, right across the river. You go across 255, you're close to Waterloo. Okay, the story is that there's boys who are going into the girls' bathroom, and there's girls who's going into the boys' bathroom. So the boys and the girls who are normal, as opposed to the ones who can't figure out which bathroom to go in, are upset about this. They complain to the principal. So the principal said, if you don't want to share the bathroom with people of the opposite sex, then what you're going to do is you're going to have to come down to the nurse's office and use her little one-stall little nurse's bathroom, okay? First off, the nurse is upset because everybody's using her little private bathroom. But so what happened on one day?
Especially kids.
Yes,
when kids said anything, they're happy.
Right. Okay. So one day, last week, 150 kids lined up outside the nurse's office to use the bathroom, both boys and girls. And the principal got mad because he said they could use the nurse's bathroom, but he's saying that 150 kids weren't upset about that. So, and here we go once again. It's like, I heard this very intelligent guy yesterday talk about the fact that what's happened to us, that we let the minorities rule things, not minorities as in racial, but minorities as in anybody who says, you discriminate because I'm gay or because I'm bisexual, I'm whatever, blah, 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 blah. Okay, we let them rule our lives. They're a minority. And what happens is, with social media, how they can do that is that if someone, like, let's say someone says, like let's say Brad goes on the air and say, hey, Little Black Book, they only let women in. You can't be a man and be in a Little Black Book. Somebody's going to go on Facebook and go, guess what? Little Black Book only lets in women. Isn't that terrible? That's horrible. We should be able to, if you're a man, you should be able to join Little Black Book. And pretty soon, Little Black Book is forced to have men in their group. See, that's the problem. And the whole thing is like the minority. It's like marketing, okay? I say that the transsexual, bisexual, whatever population in the United States is 2 to 5%, okay? High end 5%, low end 2%, okay? I say that's the population of the United States. But yet we've got to change everything because 2% of the population is not happy. But what they do is they go on social media and they go, well, look at this. I'm a blah, 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 and people don't like me because I'm a blah, blah, blah. This is terrible. So everybody goes like, well, hold on a minute now. That's not right. They're a blah, 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 and people don't like them because they're a blah, blah, blah. We've got to change that. So I'm going like, okay. And I'm thinking to myself, this guy's...
What does it take to warrant a blah, blah, blah?
No, but I'm just blah, 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 insert whatever is. See, like for example, okay, there's a lady, I have this story, okay, and I'll give you the example of this story, okay? Mm-hmm. I'm thinking myself, this is, and I'm going to ask you, and the listeners, if you want to call me and argue with me on this, or say I'm right or wrong, my number is 314-280-8880, okay? Here's the story. This is a story that I read yesterday, okay? This is out of, where is this? This is, trying to think where the city this is. I can't remember what city this is. This is the United States. Okay, the lady's name is Raquel, let me find it here. Raquel Sarawati. Saraswati. She's 39 years old. She's a Muslim activist, and she was outed for lying. Why was she outed for lying? Why did they out her for lying?
I don't know.
And by the way, she is, let me read that. 39, who led people to believe she was of Latin, South Asian, and Arab descent. She resigned from her role as the Chief Equity, Inclusion, and Cultural Office at the American Friends Service Committee after her mother, Carol Perrone, disclosed her true ethnicity. Her mother says, I called her racial. This is her mother. I don't know why she's doing what she's doing. I'm as white as the driven snow, and so is she. Okay? So she's claiming that she's of brown descent, that she's like of, once again, she's Latin, South Asian, and Arab descent, that she's not white. And her mother says, no, she's white. Now, remember, the other lady, Rachel Dolezal, this is the gal who was a black lady. At least that's what everybody thought she was. Until her parents came out and said, she's not black, she's white, just like us. And she was like some executive in the NAACP, the black organization, okay?
Right.
Okay, my question is, how can people one day wake up, and I can do this as well too. I can wake up this morning and say, you know what, I'm a woman today. I'm gonna go to the store. I'm going to the women's bathroom. I'm gonna go to Nordstrom and try on a new bra because I'm a woman today. I'm a woman. I just call myself a woman.
Moobs?
No. But the idea being is, I can do that nowadays. I can do that. Remember, we got these guys. What's the guy, Leah Thomas, who was like ranked 80th in whatever swimming league he was in some college league. The AAA or what, I don't know, whatever, it was like Big Ten or something like that. He was on the swim team and he decided, I'm not a man anymore, I'm a woman. So all of a sudden one day he's a woman. He's 6'2", he's 6'2", 6'3", he's a woman, and he breaks all these records and he wins all the tournaments, and now he's the number one woman. Because one day he woke up and he's a woman. Okay, how come I can't wake up tomorrow and say, hey, today I'm Asian. Yep, that's right, I'm an Asian person. Yeah. And then wake up on Tuesday of next week and say, hey, today, I am an Eskimo. Yes, I'm an Eskimo. And then 3 weeks from today, on Tuesday, wake up and say, oh, today I'm an Indian. Yes, I'm a Cherokee. How come you can't do that?
I don't know.
Or tomorrow, wake up and say...
But you can wake up and be a cat.
Oh, yeah.
Or a dog.
In school. By the way, there's this video. There's this video. Let me see if I can find it real quick. This is so funny. I mean, what's funny is when you I'm all for, shall we say, giving people a taste of their own medicine, okay? Where is this? By the way, have you seen this weird thing about Pat Sajak tackling one of the contestants on
but I
Jeopardy?
heard that there was a big brouhaha.
Yes, once again, here's our world. Are we concerned about the fact that the Chinese are going to overtake us and the Russians are going to shoot a missile at us? No, we're concerned about what happens on Jeopardy, and we're concerned about what happens on Wheel of Fortune. That's the big news. Okay, let me see if I can find this. Hold on a minute. This is so funny. You have to see the video on this. Let me see if I can find this. Parent claim she's a cat. Okay, hold on a minute. Parent claims. Hold on, so I can find this in YouTube. I watched the other day.
I could never identify as a cat.
Okay, hold on a minute. Yes, here it is. Okay, hold on a minute. Hold on. Here, let me plug this in. Okay, this is so funny. Okay, she's at a school board meeting. Okay, now here. Let me see if this is going to play an ad first. QuickBooks.
Expenses
we don't care about QuickBooks.
Maximize your tax savings this year.
QuickBooks.
Celebrities don't cut carbs. That ain't how
it's this dude. It's Mr. That guy's all over the place. Okay, ready? Here we go.
From a mental disorder.
Okay, now hold.
And if I'm unable to, and I am a cat,
Okay.
Meow, meow.
Let me start it over again. Okay, once again, she's testifying at the school board meeting. And she's dressed as a cat. She has cat ears on. She's got like a leopard skin bodysuit she's wearing, and she's at the podium at a school board meeting. Okay, you ready? Here we go.
What about?
And I am a cat. Meow, meow. I'm not a woman dressed as a cat. I am a cat. By show of hands, I'm curious, how many of you believe and confess that I'm a cat? Great. By show of hands, I'm curious, how many of you believe that your child or a child from this school would believe that I'm actually a cat? No one. You are right. Why? Because you are not stupid, and these children are not stupid. Truth prevails over imagination. Reality exists. Discernment is innate and something we are biologically wired to have. One look at me, and you know this to be true. I am a woman posing as a cat. You may also think correctly that if I truly believe I'm a cat, I have a mental disorder.
Yes.
If I suffer
She said it. You're crazy.
A what?
A mental disorder. I mean, once again, she's the smartest woman in the world. Excuse me. No, she's the second smartest woman in the world.
Those are fighting words,
That's right.
Brad.
I'll get in trouble because the smartest woman in the world. Once again, it's my
She will
point.
pop you like a tick.
My
brother.
point exactly. She shows up at a school board meeting dressed like a cat, and she's a cat. But yet, if her kid showed up at the school and said, "Hey, I'm a cat. You have to let me lie on the floor, and you have to, give me a litter box because I'm not going to the bathroom. I'm going to poop in the litter box, and then I'm gonna lick myself all over to clean myself. Well, yep, I'm a cat, and you can't talk to me in language. You have to meow, 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 meow. Do you have your homework done? Meow, 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 meow. It's like, okay, once upon a time. Let's go back. Let's go back to when you and I were in school. Okay, if you showed up dressed as a cat, okay, and your teacher said to you, "Shelley, why are you dressed as a cat?" And you would say to your teacher, "Well, Mrs. So-and-so, I'm not Shelley anymore. I'm a cat. You can call me Katarina. Get it? I'm Katarina the cat." Well, Shelley, I know you're not a cat. You're a human being. You're a woman. You're a girl. Oh, no. I'm not. I'm a cat. Okay? How long would it be till your principal would grab you by the ear, take you out into the hall, and say, "Shelley, tell me right now what you are." "Well, I'm Mrs. So-and-so. I'm a cat." "Okay, Shelley," grab you by the ear, haul you down to the principal's office, stick you in the principal's office and say, "Mr. Principal or Mrs. Principal, this woman or this student claims she's a cat. Tell her what she is, and when she gets some sense in her head, tell her to come back to my class," right? But no, we can't do that anymore. We can't have the teachers say, "I'm sorry, you're not a cat. You're not whatever." But yet see, here's my whole point. Why is it that, and I know people who work in school districts who tell me this is really happening, that students are showing up and they're claiming that they're dogs or whatever, they're mules, they're whatever, and they have to be observed. And now the new thing is they show up as furries. You know the furry thing? They show up as furries. You know what the furries are?
That's disturbing, yes.
Okay, so if people can show up at school and be cats and dogs and furries, and one day you can be a woman, one day you can be a man, how come tomorrow I can't wake up and say, "Hey man, today I'm a black guy. I'm a black dude. Yeah, and don't question me. I'm very light-skinned black dude, but I'm a black dude, 100% black. My relatives came from Africa. I'm a black guy. How come I can't do that?" Why is that? See?
Well, for one thing, you're not.
But that's my point. See, we have definitions. It's just like, remember this crazy thing when they were interviewing who's the new lady, who's the new Supreme Court justice, and they asked her the definition of a woman, and she couldn't give a definition of a woman. Shelley, give me the definition of a woman. What is a woman? Come on, this isn't hard.
Who's Susan Hart?
I said it isn't hard.
Let's see. Men are from Mars. Women are from Venus. Is that true?
I don't know. The point being, now you're being...
No, is that true?
I don't know.
Because that has a lot to do with it.
Nah. Women are biological females of the adult variety. Girls are young women. Girls are females who are not women yet. And typically...
They think they are.
Well, typically... the point where you become a man, and religion, like within certain religions, like within the Judaism religion, where your bat mitzvah, your bar mitzvah is when, was it your 13th birthday, where essentially you become an adult. At 13, supposedly some religions, remember, in the United States, go back in the 1800s, there were guys that married girls who were like 13, 14, 15 years old, okay?
Because if you were older than that, you were a spinster.
Or if you're older than that, you were dead because, life expectancy was like 36 years old or something like that.
I understand that, but they married younger because that was the appropriate age to get married back then.
Okay, the smartest woman in the world says, "I was a cat once, 79 frat party." Though they thought I was a Playboy bunny.
I could see that.
Girl is just a word for a female. Okay, once again, I agree with that. She says those are all tags or boxes. Okay, but once again, if we're destroying the identities of some things, we'll just blow it wide open. If you can call yourself, if one day you're a man, the next day you're a woman, why can't you be one day you're black, the next day you're Asian, the next day you're Eskimo, the next day you're American Indian, the next day you're Indian from India, okay?
Or you could take the Me and 23 test and have your actual history and then use that.
Oh, don't say that to Elizabeth Warren, because that got her in trouble with Trump. Remember that with Trump? She claimed she was an Indian, and she got into, Harvard Law School because she was Indian, and Trump goaded her into taking the test. That was so stupid. She never should have done that. And she said she takes the test, and she's like, I'm probably more Indian than she is. She's like 0.002% Indian or something like that.
Yeah, you actually get, if you are Indian and you can show, I think it's 1/16 in the government.
There's an interesting thing. Do you know about this? Do you know about the list?
There's a lot of lists.
No, the list, there is an official list, I believe, of the Cherokees.
Of the what, please?
The Cherokees, the Cherokee Indians.
Cherokee? Yeah.
Yes. And
Cherokee Pride?
The reason for that is that something back in American history where the government, United States government, required certain nations to have a list of all their members, okay? And they've updated that list through the centuries and through the decades. And there's still a list. One day, and the guy, first I thought he thought I was being a jerk, but he pulled in front of me, and he pulled in front of me, he didn't cut me off, but he was in front of me when we were going to the post office. I pulled into the post office, he's right in front of me. And I'm a license plate guy. I read license plates all the time. By the way, I got my notification that I got my new set of license plates. I got my new personalized plates. Anyway, he pulls in front of me, and his license plate reads Cherokee Nation. So I'm thinking to myself, wow, cool license plate, Cherokee Nation. So he gets out of his car next to me, and I go up and talk to him. I go, hey, man, I saw your license plates. And he gets defensive. Yeah, the problem with that is, I go, no, I'm really curious. How do you get Cherokee Nation license plate? He says, I'm Cherokee. I go, really? I go, where do you live? He says, I live here in Missouri. I said, but how do you have Cherokee Nation? He says, because anyone who is a member of the Cherokee Nation can have Cherokee Nation license plates. You don't need license plates from your own state. Any state you live in, if you can prove you're a Cherokee, you're Cherokee, you can have Cherokee Nation license plates. And I said, and it's interesting because that's when he got sort of friendly to me. I said, so you're on the list? And he says, you know about the list? I go, yeah, I do know about the list. And he says, yes, I'm on the list. There's a list. There's an official list.
That doesn't surprise me.
And his heritage has been, it's like, ask Caleb about this with the Mormons. There's the Mormon list. The Mormons have a list. They know who all the Mormons are. They're on the list.
Yeah, I bet that one's significant.
Ask Hall & Oates. They have a Kiss on their list.
Wow.
Your kiss is on my list. I'm sorry.
Everything's a song with you, isn't it,
Brad? You know what the problem with me? You know what happened to me last night?
What?
We got turned last night.
That's my problem. I got turned last night. I was out with the hefty
girl.
girls.
What does that even mean?
We talked about that yesterday. What do you mean, what does it mean? Okay, how about this one?
Next thing I know, we're all dancing up on the kitchen table.
How about this one?
Ugh, I'm binging on my shows, girl.
How about this one?
I do remember a dude that looked like Abe Lincoln, and I'm pretty sure he had floaties on.
I don't understand. Well, never mind.
You don't understand any of those?
Not that one.
What? You don't understand?
I do remember a dude that looked like Abe Lincoln, and I'm pretty sure he had floaties on.
Well, here. You know what? Here's the person who explained it to you. Ready? Here's the explanation of Abe Lincoln and floaties. You ready?
Yes.
During Women's History Month, we celebrate and we honor the women who made history throughout history.
You get it now?
Got it.
7:30. See, that's one of those women empowerment songs. Don't you agree? Hello, Shelley.
I never really thought about it, actually.
It's a women empowerment song. She doesn't need she doesn't need no stinking man. She can buy herself flowers. She can walk in the, she can hold her own hand. She can walk in the sunset. She can do all those things.
Way to do a deep dive in one of our songs, Brad.
See, once again, men are useless anymore. You know, we've been subjugated to be like, you know, like, don't need that. I can do without. Man, who needs them? Well, they're all stupid. They're all dumb. They do stupid things. They say stupid stuff. Right?
Okay.
There was a time when men were important. No longer. My dad was important.
I will say that they're I was actually talking about this with someone about the masculinization.
I'm telling
of men.
you, it's gotten bad. Think about it.
It has, really.
You know the worst business owned as the country gets older?
What's that?
A gym. Because none of the guys are going to show up at the gym anymore. You know, none of the guys are going to be over there, you know, grunting and sniffing and snorting, you know, clean and jerking, you know, 450 pounds. They're not going to be over there bench pressing. You know, they're going to be over, you know, on the treadmills watching, the View. Oh, look! Doesn't Whoopi look good today? Oh yeah, she looks so cute.
I
today.
don't even watch The View, and I could every day.
Okay, I'm sorry to get myself in trouble if I go any further. Okay, here's the story.
Yes, you will.
Proposed California bill would outlaw the sale of Skittles, hot tamales candy, and double bubble twist gum, and other food items containing chemical. Double bubble? Yes, they're going to outlaw Skittles, hot tamales, and double bubble. Introduced by Assembly members.
How can they even mess with double bubble?
I don't know. Introduced by Assembly members Jesse Gabriel and Buffy Wicks. She's got to be a porn star. It's AB 418. Proposes that California stop manufacturing, selling, or distributing foods that contain red dye number 3, titanium dioxide, potassium bromate, brominated vegetable oil, or propylparaben. You know what? When I wake up in the morning, I thought to myself, every morning I think to myself, God, I need some red dye number 3. I need some titanium dioxide. I need some potassium bromate, some brominated vegetable oil, and some propylparaben. And you know what I do? I just snap open a box of Little Debbie's and I'm there. I got all those things in one box. Introduced by Assembly members, blah, blah, blah. These chemicals can cause significant health problems like increased risk of cancer, damage to the immune system, and behavioral issues in children, Gabriel office said in a news release. While many Californians won't recognize these chemicals by name, they can be found in popular food and drink items. For example, according to Label Insights, titanium dioxide can be found in cupcakes, trail mix, and ice cream. Propylparaben can be found in caramel chocolate. Quote, Californians shouldn't have to worry that their food they buy in their neighborhood grocery store might be full of dangerous additives or toxic chemicals, Gabriel said in a statement. This bill will correct for a concerning lack of federal government oversight and help protect our kids, public safety, and the safety of our food supply. Once again, my point exactly. This is what's wrong with our government system. Now, the interesting part of this is there's been studies that show that she is right about Skittles, that they can give you cancer. If you eat 10 pounds a day of Skittles, you know, because
Skittles are a food group.
What they do is they inject mice with this stuff, and then the mice have cancer, okay? But the relationship, think about it. How big are you compared to a mouse? Your average mouse is what?
Yeah, but sometimes they win.
But let's say your average mouse is a couple ounces. Let's say average mouse is 3 ounces or 4 ounces. Is a quarter pound. You got a quarter pound mouse, which I think is probably on the heavy side, okay? A quarter pound mouse, okay? What percentage of your body weight is that? I'm not talking you specifically because I know you're not supposed to talk about women's weight, but of my weight, that would be like 0.02% or something like that because I weigh like 600 pounds, okay? I'm a big guy. So once again...
You weigh 600 pounds.
I do. So once again...
Don't.
I do.
Quiet.
Once again, it's to the point where it's like, you know, and years ago, this has forever tainted my mind. I used to do a Sunday night talk show on the old KSLQ. I have 4 hours. I started at 10 o'clock at night. I worked till 2 o'clock in the morning. 4 hours. We used to have guests on the time. I had regular guests. About every 2 months, I had Mary Margaret Richardson, who, by the way, used to be a Catholic nun. And then she got out of the nunnery, and she's probably long gone at the time. She was probably in her 50s, so if she was still alive, she'd probably have to be like 100. Anyway, she would come on the show, and she worked for the FDA. They had an office here in St. Louis in the Food and Drug Administration. She was like their media liaison person, and she would go on talk shows and talk about things. And one night, a guy calls up and says, I think I don't want to have any chemicals in any of the food I eat. I want it all to be natural, like milk. I want natural.
Really?
I want milk to be natural, just like it comes out of the cow. And she instantly launches into this thing. And it was funny because I was sort of surprised when she did this. She says to the caller, well, it's in milk, don't you? And he goes, no, what's that? She reads like 20 chemicals. She knows the chemical breakdown of milk as it comes out of the cow's
a gallon of milk's
outer.
Almost $7.
No, but as it comes out of the cow's outer, she knows the because
that's cream first.
No, because once again, anything natural has a chemical composition to it. You take it into a lab. I don't care what it is. You take a piece of corn and you take it into a lab, and they can tell you, well, it's got blah 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 blah. Because guess what? Everything we eat is made of chemicals. Some of them are natural, some of them are synthetic. Okay, it's all chemical stuff. It's just like I heard somebody, and once again, I had somebody say to me, well, anything natural is good for you. Okay, let me eat some arsenic. Guess what? Arsenic is natural. It's on the periodic table of elements, right? Let me go through the periodic table of elements. Everything on there is natural, quote unquote, because it's on the periodic table of elements. So let me think. I'm going to eat some arsenic. I'm going to eat some aluminum. I'm going to eat some, I'm going to eat some uranium. It's once again, it's all natural. So what's that? You say everything that's natural is good for you? Okay. Let me put a piece of uranium underneath your bed and sleep there. And about 2 years from now, let's see if you don't have cancer from the uranium that's in your bed. So once again, tell me that story again. Everything natural is good for you? Right. Heroin? Yeah, that's poppy seeds, right? Take too much, guess what? You're dead. Marijuana? Smoke too much, you end up like Kamala Harris. Simple as that. Oh, did I just say that?
Yeah, you did. Wow.
She's a stoner. You know that. She is.
So does she say that?
Well, she is. She's first off, she's from California. Everybody in California is stoned,
Yeah, true.
Have you ever driven to California?
I have not.
You cross the border, let's say if you're coming in from Arizona and you cross the border, like if you're coming in like into San Diego on I-10, there's a big
coming in hot.
Yeah, the big sign that says, "Welcome to California." Yes, we're all stoned. That's what the sign says, right as you come to California.
I saw the sign Chicago left, so I turned around and went back home.
Right. So you come into California on 15, you're coming out of Vegas, you go into LA on Vegas, you hit that California line, but you know what they do have at the California line?
A McDonald's?
No, they have the vegetation inspection stations.
What?
You've never driven to California, have you?
I just said no.
They ask you if you're bringing in any fruits, vegetables, or any animals.
From the States?
Yeah, from any other state, because there's certain things they don't allow in California because they don't want because like for example in the St. Louis area we have honeysuckle which grows everywhere, which is not native. It's an invasive species, and that's what they're afraid of. They don't want you bringing in stuff that's not a native plant to California. So you literally go. I mean seriously, you go through a little place and they pull you over and they ask you. They say, hey, you got any stuff in your car? Well, I've got 3 machine guns. I've got 22 knives. I've got some claymore mines. I've got some hand grenades. No, but do you have any any stuff like any coffee beans from another country, or do you have like any corn from Nebraska? No. Okay, you can go. You mean I can bring all these weapons? Yeah, we don't care about that, but there's you got corn from Nebraska? 30 days in jail for you.
Wow.
They're tough in California. See, you think I'm making this up, right?
Yes.
I'm not. I'll go. Here.
Are you vindicated?
Here, I'll type in.
Have the smartest woman in the world vindicate you.
She
Brad.
knows. She lived in California. She did. I think she drove.
She did?
Yeah, she lived in California for a while. California, food inspection stations. California food inspection, SPEC.
I know they have, well, I don't know this. I assume that they have one in Hawaii.
Okay, hold on a minute. Plant health, yeah, here it is, cdfa.ca.gov. And this is, where is this? Our inspectors check vehicles and commodities for compliance with California and federal plant quarantine regulations. They also check commodities to make sure they are free from exotic invasive species that may be hitchhiking with them. Although the primary focus is on plant materials, i.e. fruits, vegetables, nursery stock, hay, firewood, etc., other items are also frequently inspected. I'm telling you. What are some vehicles inspected more than thoroughly than others? To minimize delays at the border, with nearly 20 million vehicles passing through the border stations each year, our inspectors are trained to conduct their inspections by the risk that a vehicle may be carrying hitchhiking pests in it. The higher the risk, the more thorough the inspection. This assessment is based on several factors, including route of travel, time of year, and vehicle type. Do these inspections really work? Yes, studies show a direct correlation between agricultural inspections and lowering invasive species infestations. One study indicates that every dollar spent on pest prevention, $14 is saved in later control, causing economic losses. I'm telling you, what can I do to avoid delays at the border? Have all plant material, including fruits, vegetables, plants, hay, firewood, packed for easy access. Ensure the driver knows that what is in the vehicle and where it is packed. Ensure the driver has keys or knows the combination for all door locks. Ensure all doors, especially those of self-mover trucks and trailers, can be easily opened and closed. They inspect your car when you drive into California.
That's interesting.
And she says, those are some this is the smartest woman in the world. She says, those are some wacky people. Ought to check out the food in those millions of food trucks on every corner for breakfast and lunch. Yes. In California, the food trucks are everywhere. The guy's selling hot dogs on a little hot dog vending machine, remember? By the way, I have to tell you, I'm sad. I'm happy to see there was an article that we talked about on the air some months back that when Home Depot was going to reopen their stores and get rid of all, I mean, they always had their stores open. They're going to get rid of all the stupid COVID-19 things. They were not going to let the hot dog guys be back. You know how you go, the hot dog guys?
I do.
They're back. As a matter of fact,
really?
Oh, yeah. 2 of the Home Depots I've been to at least recently have hot dog guys there selling hot dogs. I know a friend of a friend told me his friend is one of those hot dog guys at a Home Depot.
Uh-huh.
Guess how much money he made before the COVID-19 thing? Guess how much money, not gross sales, but much money after all his expenses. His net profit after he paid all his expenses.
$87,000.
$100,000.
Yep.
Selling hot dogs at Home Depot. Because think about it, especially the working class guys and gals that come in there, like the plumbers and the handyman and the carpenters and things like that come in like, for example, they're working on a project or something like that. They're out in a job and they need to get a set of, 1032 screws that they can't find anywhere else. They go to Home Depot and you smell those hot dogs. You go in and you buy your screws. You come back out. Hey, man, give me one of those maybe give me 3 of those hot dogs. And you eat those hot dogs. By the way, you know what I had about before I started the Little Mix?
Is Wolfie still open?
I don't know. You know what I had before I started the Little McFreddy diet? And by the way, I'm down officially now over 10 pounds. So I'm not pushing it that hard. I started on March 1st. I'm now down over 10 pounds, which is like less than a pound a day. But still, I'm not pushing it hard. You know what I had right before I started the diet? And I have to tell you, I didn't think I'd like it. Oh, my God, it was so good. Every time I go in there.
What?
I had a Quickie Mart. I had a roller. Not a roller hot dog. I had a roller brat.
A roller what?
Brat. Bratwurst. Don't you know what a bratwurst is?
I'm sorry. I didn't hear you. I'm so sorry.
A brat. B-R-A-T. Bratwurst.
Oh, yeah, like a bratwurst.
Yes. I had a roller. Yeah. I had a roller brat. God, that was good. Man, it was.
It's funny that you say that because my husband is going to take up sausage stuffing.
He's going to make sausage?
Yeah.
There's 2 things you never want to see.
I already told him I will not be in this house while you do this.
Sausage and legislation. You never want to see those 2 things made. Okay.
You're funny.
I'm sorry. We have to take a break. God, why were we running late this morning? It's all your fault. 7:50.
Why is it my fault?
It is. Be quiet. She's doing the weather. It is BS.Show. Shelley, it's going to be our last break. This is our last time for you and I together this morning.
Tear.
And every day it could be our last time ever.
I know that.
Because I could go out and get hit by a car again or something like
Brad,
that.
Stop.
Or have the, because
Brad,
because I drive.
You need to stop putting stuff like that in the universe.
I drive near the airport from time to time, and I could be driving along, and an airliner could open up his lavatory and dump like its stuff on me, and I could die. You know what I'm saying?
Some day you're the pigeon, and some days you're the statue.
Speaking of the airport, here's an interesting story. We're going to go out on a good note today. Lara Mark. I guess it's Lara, L-A-R-A. Would they be Lara? Lara Mark?
I don't know.
She's from St. Louis, okay? But something happened to her Monday morning at Hobby Airport in Houston. Something happened to her. You know what happened to her?
No.
She got married in the airport.
Oh, is that where they met?
She was dating a guy who was U.S. Navy Lieutenant Commander. His name is Silas Hensley. And it was a long-distance romance. And they would travel to meet each other. And they would almost always travel on Southwest Airlines. So they decided to get married. And sort of as a joke, they asked the Houston airport if they could get married in the airport because they've spent a lot of time in that Houston airport. And to their surprise, the Houston airport says, yes, you can get married here. So the Houston Airport Authority put together a wedding ceremony where they got married. There's a little chapel's office in the airport. They got married in the chapel's office, but then they had their reception outside in the Southwest Concourse, and they had cake and champagne, and they did their first dance out in the middle of the concourse. And then she got to throw the bouquet. And not only were airport employees there, but there were just people who were walking through the airport who stopped to try to catch the bouquet. It's actually sort of an interesting story. Lieutenant Commander Silas Hensley and Lara Mark are now married, and they were the first ever wedding in the airport.
Which is so funny to me that they let that happen. They didn't go back in the terminal areas, did they?
No. Well, no, this was in the terminal. This is from the airport spokesperson. She says it's a wedding in the airport. Ella Geisier
Is it
said.
Before or after Homeland Security?
No, it just happened Monday. Said no, this was down by the gate. The airport was operational. This is a quote. The airport was operational. We didn't close down the airport. We still had planes flying in. We had airplanes flying out. The marriage was sealed with a kiss in a place that, after 4 years of long-distance dating, made total sense. Quote, whether it's a layover or missed flight, it's been a huge part of our lives, Henley said about the venue. Every part of the wedding was perfectly choreographed by Houston airports, from the cake to the champagne to the music. Their first dance was a memory that even strangers got to soak in. Of course, the party couldn't end without a bridal bouquet toss, which airport workers and travelers were all able to join in, hoping to make the lucky catch. She says, what a wonderful group of people to celebrate this with. Mark says, that's her name, Lara Mark. The best part about a wedding at the airport, the couple had a quick walk to the gate to get to their honeymoon started. And showed them, I saw the video on this, they literally walked a couple of feet from where they got married, and they're on the plane, and they're off on their honeymoon. Isn't that nice?
How cute is that?
Now, we'd have that at the city of St. Louis, but they'd pass a law against it. And,
yeah, they would.
And somebody would say, no, you can't do that in the city of St. Louis. Oh. That's improper. That's terrible. We can't have marriages in the wedding terminal. That screws up the traffic pattern. And okay. By the way, we're going to tear down this terminal anyway. And by the way, Shelley's trying to interrupt me because she's telling me it's 7:59.
Yep. Have a great day, everybody. Peace and I fly.
I think I'll get married in the airport.
Yeah, right.
7:59.
On the helipad.
Have you heard about Salt River Automotive? Not only are we open for business and ready to serve you, we are sponsors of the BS in the Morning Show on Westplex 107.1. Check us out on Facebook at Salt River Automotive LLC. See you soon.